Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is McKenna and I'm super glad that you're here. Today I'm going to be showing you what is on my phone. This is my phone. This is the Google Pixel 9, just the base model with 256 gigabytes of storage. This is the case that I have on it right now. This is I think it's from Spigen. It's just a clear case and it has a MagSafe ring on it so I can use my pop socket. That is really comfortable. I prefer the pop sockets so far. But yeah, that's my case. It is yellowing a little bit. You can kind of see it on the edges. So that's one thing that I will say about it. Without further ado, let's get into what's on my phone. So when you first open my phone, this is what the home screen looks like. This picture I got from Pinterest. Most of my home screens I do get from Pinterest just because they have a lot of nice photos on there. I do try to be mindful of the AI photos and artwork that are on Pinterest, especially these days. But right now my phone has kind of got like a dark navy sky theme going on for the month of November. It's November 19th right now. The bottom are the same widgets that I keep there all the time. So on the right is the camera app. You can see that I'm filming. And then the other widget on the left is my wallet. I always have those on my home screen. So now we're just gonna open my phone. So this is my main home screen. As you can see, all my apps are organized into folders. And then I actually have another screen here, which is just widgets. So first, let's go through this home screen. I have one widget on here, which is just the verse of the day from the Bible app. And if I click on it, it actually takes me to the Bible app, which I really like. Oh, wow. They're celebrating 1 billion Bible installs. Anyway, so there's that widget, and then we'll just start in this first folder. So this first folder is kind of just like my daily apps that I'll use. So we have Google Calendar on here, which pretty much has my whole life on here, all of my appointments, events that I need to remember. We're gonna be getting into a very busy season soon. And then I have Google Maps, which I only use sometimes when I'm driving. I have the calculator. Keep Notes is just my notes app where I keep my lists. So I've pinned the main lists that I use or come back to a lot. And these little icons or these images I made with the AI feature on the Pixels. So I think it's through Pixel Studio. But yeah, I have my grocery list. I have IDs that I need to change. Expenses to keep in mind, and my wish list. The next app is the clock app, which is where I set my alarms. You can see all the alarms that I set. There's also the world clock. I got timers from when I'm cooking. I never really use the stopwatch, and then I don't really use this bedtime schedule thing either. And then there's this app. This is a poop tracker. My doctor told me to start tracking bowel movements, and this app just kind of helped me do that without having to write it down all the time. So you can see, you can put the bowel movement, the type of poop you have. It has a whole diagram. So let's just choose 4. And then the size and the color. And when you do it, you can put if it's urgent, if there was blood, if it was painful. And you can add any other notes that you want to. And then you just press done, and then it shows you all of your entries in a calendar. I only use the free version of it just because I'm not going to pay for a subscription for a poop app, but it was very helpful for me at the time. I don't really use it as much anymore. The next app that I have is Scotiabank, just is where I do my banking. And then Clue is just the period tracker app that I use. Last but not least in this folder is the settings app, which I do go back into very often, so I just decided to include it in this folder. The next category or folder that we have here is my fitness related type folder. I don't work out enough, but when I do like to use at-home workouts. These are the 2 main apps that I'll use. So there's MadFit and FitOn. I just like the style of workouts that are in there, and there's such a wide variety. There are paid elements to it, but I only use the free version. And then I have the Fitbit app. This connects to my Fitbit. I'm not wearing it right now, but I mainly like it because when I wear my Fitbit, it shows my heart rate and when I'm in the active zone. And then Google Fit just connects to my other apps. I don't refer to it often. I think it's mainly just for like the sleep function and sleep tracking. So there's those. The next category that I have here is my kind of like Bible, let's call it the Bible category. You can see the symbol that I used is the cross at the bottom here. This first app is called Laudate. I don't know how to say it. And I always look at the daily readings and the saints of the day. There's that. And then like I mentioned earlier, there's the Bible app. And this one I just got recently and I've really been enjoying it. It's Hallow. You can see I do these every day. So I have a daily rosary and the daily gospel, which is just kind of like a guided prayer where they'll read excerpts from the New Testament and you kind of just sit with it. There'll be some prompts that they do with the recording. And it's kind of funny because the voice is of Jonathan Rumi, who plays Jesus in The Chosen. You can actually change the voice that you like to listen to on there, and so I'll do that. I also like to check out some minute homilies with Father Mike. There's some minute saints, so there's some prayers from saints, a morning offering, and a night prayer with the Liturgy of the Hours, which I was actually starting to do pretty consistently lately. So I'm surprised it's not showing up here on this daily routine, but again, it's a really useful prayer app. Again, I don't pay for the full app subscription of Hallow, but it's there. The next folder that we have is my YouTube folder. So I keep YouTube Music and YouTube together just because in my brain, that's how they are. I do pay for YouTube Premium, and when you pay for YouTube Premium, it gives you the ability to watch YouTube without ads, and it also gives you access to YouTube Music. So I actually just switched over to YouTube Music a couple months ago, back in September. I used to be on Spotify, but it was getting really expensive, and I'm not really a huge audiobook person. And I was really curious about YouTube Premium because I always saw the ads and I was getting really annoyed with the advertisements when I would try and watch YouTube videos. I figured since I spend a lot of time on YouTube, it would be worth it. And then it's also a bonus because you get YouTube Music included. So for me, the price that I was paying for Spotify was pretty much the same as the family plan for YouTube Premium. So me, my mom, and my husband are all on the plan. It's a bit more bang for my buck. Yeah, I really like it so far. I'm not really super picky with my music streaming provider. Yeah, I make my playlists on here. I listen to podcasts. I've been listening to the Catechism in a Year with Father Mike Schmitz. The next folder that we're getting into is my socials folder, which, shameless plug, this is my Instagram. You can go follow me there if you would like. I do post a bit more here lately, especially when I'm not posting on YouTube. I'll post on my stories a lot more on Instagram. And then I have Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I don't really consider it a social media. It feels a bit more different because I come out a lot more inspired. I just get a lot of ideas from Pinterest. So I usually come here for inspiration, for wallpapers. I have a whole board here for my phone wallpapers. So even the ones in this video, you can find them here. So I will link my Pinterest down below if you're interested in that. But yeah, I get lots of prayers from here. It kind of, like, I treat it a lot like Tumblr. I used to use Tumblr back in the day, and that used to be where I would get a lot of my inspo and whatnot. But Pinterest has turned into that for me. So yeah, I get a lot of quotes. The only thing about it is that there are a lot of ads, but you can hide these. I think it's 5 that you have to hide for them to stop showing up for a bit, for at least an hour. Oh, I can't even hide that. But yeah, it's not too bad. Like once you hide them, every time I see an ad, I just kind of hide them and they don't show up as frequently. And then I have Facebook, which is mainly I use it for my family. My family's on there. I post a lot of pictures on there as well, more than my Instagram. I consider my Facebook more like my personal, like with my close family and friends and relatives. Whereas Instagram I treat more for kind of like the public audience. And then I have Reddit, which I don't use on its own. I won't search things on their own from here. Usually I only use Reddit when I'm searching a very obscure question in Google, and then it takes you to a Reddit thread and you kind of have to download the app just to view the whole entire thread. So that's why I have Reddit. And then I have Snapchat, which I don't really use. I only use Snapchat to talk with my sister because she always sends me videos and pictures of my nephew and like 1 or 2 friends. Serious texting and stuff like that, I just use texting or WhatsApp or whatever app that I am communicating with my friend or family with. The next folder is my reading folder. I have the Kindle app in here. I love reading on my Kindle. This connects to my Kindle as well. But sometimes if I'm in a waiting room or something like that, I will just open up a book and continue to read it while I'm waiting. And yeah, these are the books that I've been reading lately. On Kindle specifically. I have more physical copy books that I'm reading, but yes, these are the ones that I'm reading. The next app that I have here is my Goodreads, where I track all of my reading for the year. If you want to check it out, you can. I will also link this down below if you're a reader. I also have another reading tracker, which is Storygraph. Hello. This one, I actually do post like written reviews or comments of my own. Not very long, sometimes only 1 sentence, sometimes only a couple. I can also link this down below if you're interested. And the last app that I have in my reading folder is Hoopla, which is similar to Libby, but is the one I can use in my area with my library card. So I can take out books digitally this way through this app. I've never actually tried it yet because I've just recently got my library card, but I am looking forward to being able to do that. The next apps that I have are my work-related apps. So I have Microsoft Teams, Outlook, OneDrive, and OneNote on here. I only have them here just to be able to quickly reference things. If I'm running an errand, like running to the bank or something, and I need quick access on my phone, that's why I have these. Otherwise, I just use my laptop. The folder next to it is my shopping folder. I have Etsy and Amazon because I very frequently, when I'm bored, will kind of scroll on there. So I'll just show you what I like to look at. I have like a bit of a wish list going. I kind of just go through and heart the things that I like. I don't always get them, but they're kind of ideas for me too, in terms of gifts for people that I love. So that's Etsy, and then Amazon. And then Amazon also has a wish list. I keep a wish list on here to track kind of what I am looking at a time. And then if I forget about it, then I know I really truly didn't want it, or it wasn't like a really base purchase to begin with. So that's kind of like my way of controlling what I buy and what I don't buy. And then I have the Starbucks app for my points. I don't go to Starbucks enough to collect enough points anymore. I used to go all the time, but lately it's just been getting too sweet. And then I find when I do get Starbucks, it just feels like it makes my mouth feel gross, and it's really, really sweet a lot of the time for me. I don't know if that's just aging. I'm just getting older and my tastes are changing. But yeah, I do still keep the app. And I mainly use it just for like the pickup option. So I'll order my stuff through the app. That way it's ready by the time we go pick it up. The next app is for Tim Hortons, and this is also just like a point system. I do remember sometimes, and so I will use it, but not very frequently. And then Indigo is kind of just the same deal as Amazon and Etsy. I just go on here for gift ideas and to browse what's on sale. But most of the time I do actually like going in store to browse. Metro is a grocery store here. I have the app because I signed up for the points card. Yay, I have $13 in rewards. But there's also coupons on here. I'm not really good at checking for sales and stuff like that yet, but I do want to get there one day. PC Optimum I use when we go to Superstore or Shoppers Drug Mart. It's just another points system. And sometimes Shoppers has really good deals, or you earn a lot of points and then you can redeem them for really good items. Then Shop. I used this when I would do online orders, and it was an option to track my order. It keeps all of my orders in check. I can add them here so that I know when I have something coming in the mail, especially when I order multiple things at once. And then Uber Eats, pretty self-explanatory. That's when I actually don't order a lot of Uber Eats. My husband does because he has Uber One. I only use it when I'm out of town for a work trip or something and I want to order something into my hotel room. Domino's, I have points. I have an account there as well, so when we order in pizza, that's usually where we order from. Cineplex is just so I can check the movie times in our area and I could buy movie tickets off here. Scene Plus is another point system. Oh, I'm not even signed in. It's another point system I use for our movie tickets. So my credit card and my debit card are both connected to Scene Points and I can redeem them for movie tickets. I can also redeem them for cashback, and that's why I have the Scene Plus. The next app that I have is Sephora, which I have not really been using lately again, but I do like to use it to browse mainly the sales, especially around this time of year when I'm looking for gifts for my sister, for my friends. This will give me ideas for them, and so that's why I have Sephora. The next folder is my streaming folder. So I have Disney Plus here, which I pay for, and my whole family is on my Disney Plus. I mainly have it for Dancing with the Stars, and then I also had it for Only Murders in the Building, which are shows that I like to watch. And then also just movies. Me and my husband like to watch a lot of movies, and we will watch them here on Disney Plus. And then Crave. I don't have Crave. I'm actually only on it because my friend signed in on my phone. So I haven't actually used it yet. I don't know what's on here, but I am interested in looking at what there is, especially with holidays coming up. I can see there's some holiday movies here. The next folder that I have is kind of like my editing, photo and video editing folder. So the first one is Edits, which is connected to Instagram. It's very similar to CapCut. I've only used this once. It wasn't even for social media though. It was just to kind of merge two videos together that I had, and I've liked it. It's really simple to use. You can add text and stuff like that pretty easily. You can get ideas from here, so there's an inspiration tab. But yeah, other than that, I don't really use Edits. And then for photo editing, I like to use Adobe Lightroom. So you can see I have a bunch of photos in here. This is like my main photo editing app that I'll use for Instagram and Facebook. I usually like a high contrast look with like grain added to it. That's usually what I'm trying to do when I edit. And then the last folder is my car folder. So these are actually like shortcuts to start our engine, lock and unlock the doors of our car. I don't know if I could change like the way these icons look, but they are very useful. I had found that I'd always be going to the Toyota app to do all this stuff, and it just made a lot of sense just to make the shortcut. And so I learned how to do that not too long ago actually, and I added them to my home screen, and it's actually made life a lot easier. So on the bottom, I have my calling app, and then I have a folder as well with kind of like my messaging apps and my email. So I have WhatsApp, which I use every day to text my husband. That's just the one we use. And then I also use it for a couple group chats, some with my in-laws, and then another one just with our church. Messenger is the app that I use to message my family. So that's where our family group chats are. And then Google Messages, which is just like the texting on my phone, and so I'll use that with my friends. And then Discord is what I use with my friends when I'm playing Minecraft or if we're playing games. And then I have Google Chrome on the bottom because I'm always Googling stuff. I did move this once, like off that bottom bar, and I found I was looking for it because I was so used to having it there. Like my brain is just wired to have it there. Like all of these on the bottom, like they have to be there. Like my brain, I can change everything else and I'll be okay. But these bottom ones are like essential. These are what I use all the time. My brain, that's just how it functions, knowing that those apps are in that spot on the bottom bar. So I don't know if I mentioned, but the wallpaper is from Pinterest. Usually when you get the phone, if you scroll this way, there is customized news articles for you and you can tailor that. But me, I found I would never use it, so I just disabled it because I would accidentally scroll there. I figured out how to disable it, and I did, and it's just a lot better for me this way. So let's scroll the other way. This is my second page. It's just a page of widgets. So on the top is the Gemini widget. You can ask Gemini questions. either through like typing like this, or you can go to the live. So let's see. I am making a what's on my phone video. What should I show the audience?
That's a fun video idea. You could start by showing your home screen and wallpaper, then maybe go through your most recently used apps. People often find things like their favorite games or social media apps interesting. Would you like some ideas for specific types of apps to feature?
No, thank you. Bye. So yeah, you get the idea. Sometimes I find Gemini useful when we're planning trips or I'm looking for things to do in a city that I'm not from. Gemini is pretty cool. I do use it sometimes. I don't use it a lot, but I like knowing where it is because there have been a couple scenarios where I am looking for Gemini and it just makes it easier to have the widget like that. So yeah, the next widget that I have is the Pinterest widget. So this middle one is just like a gallery wall of one of my Pinterest boards, which is a Christmas related one because I wanted to have a bit of a Christmas theme going on. You can make it change hourly. I only have it set to change every single day. So these are the images that it's going to show me for today. And I love it because it's very Christmassy. I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday and I just get so happy when I see it. So there's that. And then I also have this screen time widget on the bottom here. And if you click this little refresh button, it'll update it because sometimes it'll take a second. So it just shows me, it gives me an idea of how much time I'm spending on my phone. I just like that. I just like to know and be aware. Okay, I need to like get off my phone because I've been on it for 4 hours today and I need time to not be on there. So it's just a very useful widget for me. It's also a little bit embarrassing sometimes when I look at it and I'm like, oh dang, I spent a lot of time on my phone. The next widget is on the right here. This is the battery widget, so it just shows me how much battery I have left. And then also when I connect my headphones or my earphones, it'll show me how much battery I have left on my earphones as well. You can see my earphones have 100%, my phone is at 49 because I didn't charge it. If you scroll down, it doesn't matter what side on the top you scroll down from, there is this drop down menu and you can customize these, I guess, widgets, is that what you'd call them? And if you scroll down a little bit further, it'll show you the full menu here of what you chose to customize. And I did customize these. So this first one is just like the Wi-Fi. You can turn it off, turn it on, turn your data on, turn it off. I have my flashlight. I have the Bluetooth connection, so I can click on that really easily when I'm trying to pair my new devices. There's auto rotate, so you can turn it on and turn it off. I turn it on and off all the time when I'm laying in bed. There's the wallet. I'm gonna have to blur that out. I use this a lot because sometimes I don't actually even bring my physical wallet with me into stores, so that's why I have that on there. And then modes, I can just change it to do not disturb or driving, or I can turn this feature on, which is basically if I flip my phone and put it on the table like that, it'll automatically turn it on silent. A shortcut to my clock app so I can set my alarms or a timer or whatever I need. Have airplane mode on and off quickly here too as well. And then I have a shortcut to the calculator app because I found myself constantly always going to the calculator app, whether I was doing banking or something for work. So I just decided to make a shortcut to that. Screen recording, I don't use it very often. I'll use it sometimes, like right now for this video, or if I'm trying to send my husband something from a social media app that he doesn't have, I'll screen record and send it to him this way. There's the quick share button, which is pretty much the AirDrop for Android. So there's that. And then battery share, which is really cool feature on the Pixels that I didn't even know was on here until recently. Basically, if I turn this on, I can put my phone down and say I have like my headphones here, I'll show you. I can charge my headphones on the top of my phone. So that's really cool, especially if you're in a pinch or something and your headphones or something die. Then you can quickly charge a little bit that way through your phone battery, which hopefully your phone is charged. But the only thing that I wish Pixels did in terms of that was I wish you could plug your phone in at the same time and have it charging, kind of like having your phone act as a charging dock, like while it's charging itself. But for some reason, Pixels don't allow that. I've tried it, and it says it's not available when it's plugged in. Also at the top, I don't know if I showed this, you can control the brightness of your screen as well. And then there's also kind of like apps that you're listening to. So I have my YouTube Music here, and then I don't know why it's not working. Say I was listening to like a prayer on Hollow, that would also show up here. Let's just go through some of the apps that are not on my home screen. I'm not going to talk about the Google apps that automatically come on the phone. I'm just going to talk about the ones that weren't included. First app is Adobe Scan. I'm actually going to add this to my work folder because I do use that a lot for work. It's very self-explanatory. It scans documents for me. I'll scan receipts on there. I'll scan mail that we get. I'm not going to open it just because there's probably work stuff on there that I can't show. Air Canada, I don't use often. Again, it's only when we travel. It keeps our boarding passes, any changes to our flights. Google Authenticator is also for work, so I'm going to put that in my work folder as well. We have to authenticate a lot of things, especially when we're signing into new SharePoint sites. So oftentimes there's a lot of authenticator that is required. So I will just have it all in there just so it's easy to access. I have Babbel, which is a language learning app, and then the two Bose apps. So the first one here is for my big headphones. I can change some of the settings on here, how noise canceling I want them to be. And then for some reason, Bose created a whole separate app for earbuds like this, because I have these Bose earbuds as well. So that's why I have this other Bose app. I don't know why they did that. It would have been so much easier if they just kept it all in one app. And then I have Canva. I will use for YouTube thumbnails. I'll also use it for work sometimes. I don't use it a lot on my phone. I mainly use it on my laptop, but I have it here just to be able to download thumbnails and whatnot onto my phone. Duolingo, another language learning app that I use for Spanish. Expensify is another work app that should be in this work folder. Good that I'm doing this. It's forcing me to go through all my apps. This one is really cute. This is Focus Friend. It's basically an app to help you focus, so you can put in a timer. So if you're someone who likes to study using a Pomodoro timer, this is a really good tool to use. And you can put how much time you want to study. So let's say an hour. So when you start this timer, your little Bean, this is my Bean, his name is Pablo Bean because my dog's name is Pablo. Pablo Bean needs help focusing. So when you set a timer and you start it, he'll start knitting, and he'll be knitting socks. And if you leave the app and it detects that, it'll stop his progress. And so you won't be making anything, and you'll have to start all over again. And the goal is basically to get through the timer without checking your phone and checking other apps. And the more socks you make, the more things you can buy for your room. So this is my room. I obviously don't use it too often. I only have knitted 58 socks. But I have a plant and I have a bookshelf. And then you can go to the store and add different features based on how many socks you've made. You can add a window. It's really cute. I think it's a really cute app and really great for if you're trying to focus and do work. So that's what this is. GoPro Quick. This is what I'm using right now. I'm actually not going to open it because it might mess up my filming, but it's connected to my GoPro, which I'm using to film right now, and sometimes I'll use it to look what the camera looks like if I can't see myself, because there's no viewfinder that faces my way, so I can check it through here. It just makes my life a lot easier in that way. That's what that app is for. And then Guitar Tuna is just a tuning app. I'll use it for my ukulele. Letterboxd. I use this to track any new movies that I've watched. I haven't watched any new movies really like lately. I rewatch a lot of movies, but when it comes to new ones, I don't watch. Manulife is just to track my benefits with my workplace to see how much I have left. Notion, I use it mainly for my journal / notes section here, where I'll do research and I'll add like the notes from videos that I'm watching here. So that's what I use Notion for mainly, especially these days. I had a reading log that I used to keep track with. Like I used to keep up with this, but not so much anymore. And I used to write like actual reviews on here. Passport Parking is just an app to pay for parking downtown here where I live. Porter Airlines is similar to Air Canada. I'll use it just to track boarding passes, flight changes. WestJet, same deal. Oh, and Zoom. I'm gonna move that to my work folder as well. Yeah, that's all of the apps that I have. I don't keep a lot of games on my phone. I used to have like small games, but I just never played them, and so eventually I just deleted them. I'm not a heavy gamer as well, like on my phone specifically. Like I'd rather just play on like a Switch or whatever I have. Thank you guys so much for watching this video if you've gotten this far. I love making these videos of showing you guys more of what's on my phone. And I know I change stuff a lot, like it's just who I am. I do like to change how my phone looks, and I'm gonna actually switch cameras because I don't like not being able to see myself. This has been a really chatty video. I hope this has kind of helped. I've been talking a lot. I need to stop. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and I will see you in the next one.